former intelligence official, maybe it's also another one of the whistleblowers, I'm not sure, confirmed the existence of this program, but adding that it's run out of the Secretary of Defense office, and also warning that whoever even talks about it is put on government radar and is put in the danger zone.
Government's official position is not to speculate on this subject. We can choose to let our minds explore other possibilities, to use our imaginations. For if we consider that astroscientists agree on one point, that the possibility of life elsewhere is not only quite probable, some feel it is there without a doubt. Let us suppose then that these objects are real space vehicles, extraterrestrial in origin, and not an illusion of the mind.
There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Somewhere in the Live Stream. I am having major Wi-Fi issues, so I want to apologize in advance. Hold on. Yeah, see, I'm already getting a lag. I apologize, guys. Give me one sec. I had YouTube pulled up, so I heard my own voice. That was weird. That was weird. Talking to myself for a moment there. Hello, welcome to the most unorganized Somewhere in the Live Stream of all time. I am your host, Ryan Sprague, and I want to welcome all of you in the chat. I do apologize if I'm a little behind in communicating with you guys. It does seem like I'm having some Wi-Fi issues. Let me know how the connection is, if I'm coming through clear and whatnot. We will have some videos, hopefully. Those will play for you guys as well. But yeah, let me know in the chat. How am I sounding? How am I looking? Am I all pixelated and blurred? I'm getting a thumbs up. Sweet, sweet. Hello to Suzanne, our wonderful moderator. She's here with you guys tonight, as always. She's blowing you kisses to help with the chat. And speaking of which, the super chat is open if you do want to help support the show. This is a great one-time way of doing so. You can throw questions in the super chat, and I will be sure to answer those towards the end of the show. And other ways you can help, you can do our Buy Me a Coffee option, which is another great one-time way to help out the show. Our Patreon campaign is always open. So if you would like the Somewhere in the Skies podcast early, or you would like bonus episodes, or you'd like priority to ask our guests questions, you can do all that by becoming a Patreon subscriber today. And you can learn more about that at patreon.com/somewhereskies. As you can tell, I'm in a little different kind of a environment tonight. I am currently in Nova Scotia filming the ghost show I'm on, Haunted. So I want to say hello to all our paranormal peeps out there. We're getting closer to Halloween, so I couldn't think of a better thing to be doing for the next month or so, and that is hunting ghosts throughout the Maritimes. And we've already had some really interesting stuff happen. So I'll be sharing some of that. I have been sharing some of that with you guys over on my Instagram and Twitter account. So make sure you're following us at Somewhere Skies or at Ryan Sprague 51, and you can watch more of that. I want to say hello to C. Kenzo over on Twitch. Nemesis is here. Jeffrey, Gareth, Michael Huntington, J. Ellen Heineken, Joyful Stones. Nisa is here. Hello, Robert Chafee, as usual. Jim is here. Pat Gallagher, Andrew, Hides in Long Grass. Let me see who else we got here. Donnie Falls is here. Going all the way to the top, guys. Cord Wayner is here. Hello, hello. And I don't think I'm forgetting anyone. Hello, Paranormal Pixie, Brew, FOs. I love it. Love it, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I know what story everyone wants to talk about, and we will, but we got a couple others to talk about before we get to the meat of the sandwich tonight. Hello to Joseph as well. So let's start with this one that came out from our good buddy John Greenwald over at the Black Vault. And this is titled, I got my notes here as per usual, Heavily Redacted UAP Briefing Between UAP Task Force and NASA has been released. All right, here we go, guys. John's done it again. A recent release of documents obtained through 2 Freedom of Information Act requests filed by the Black Vault in 2021 and 2022 has shed light on a briefing about UAP. And this was a briefing between the UAP Task Force and NASA. So, the UAPTF was a U.S. Department of Defense program established to investigate UAP reports running from 2020 until its transition into AIMSOG in 2021, which would eventually become ARROW, as we all know, through all its different iterations. The requests that John put out specifically asked for all communications, emails, or otherwise between the UAP Task Force and NASA. Because, we wanted to know, was NASA being a part of these studies, of these things going on? They should be. So John wanted to figure that out. So let me see here, blah, blah, blah. The case sought all communications between the task force and NASA, and a second case was filed in 2022 to specifically request a classified slide deck on UAP created by Jay Stratton that was shown to NASA and likely other agencies in October of 2020. And this was also revealed by previously released documents. These newly released records sent by the U.S. Navy to the Black Vault include a heavily redacted slide deck, which provides a glimpse into that briefing. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple of the slides that were sent out. While much of the material from the briefing remains classified, several important details can be discerned from the slides that were included in the release. One of the main points of interest is the extensive redaction throughout the slide deck, particularly in sections that discuss photographic evidence of UAPs, which is something we will get to in our meat of the live stream tonight, photograph of UAPs. And let me see here. Photographs were included, but nearly all of them remain classified with the exception of one image. And that one image was what we know as the pyramid, the flying pyramid. What was it? Was it an actual pyramid in the sky, or was it bokeh? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat what the green pyramid UFO was. But interesting that one leaked by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp is the only one that is being shown in this unredacted version, I guess, of this briefing. So interesting. Another notable section discusses the use of multiple sensors in detecting UAPs. According to the slide, the UAPTF employs a combination of technologies and reporting from operators to track and analyze UAPs. The multi-sensor approach is essential for corroborating sightings and gathering reliable data, which is when shared with other U.S. government partners for further analysis. One of the slides also focuses on the November 14th, 2004 Tic Tac case, which involved the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. The briefing described the object as a, quote, solid, white, smooth craft without any visible wings or pylons, measuring approximately 46 feet in length. Oh, that's interesting. I've never actually really thought about the length of the Tic Tac itself. 46 feet. It's nothing to scoff at. Despite the event being validated by debriefs from aircrew and other personnel, the report notes that there was limited data available to conduct a thorough technical analysis at the time. A slide titled Potential Explanations presents 3 possible explanations for UAPs, but 2 of these have been redacted. Interesting. The only explanation visible suggests that some UAP sightings could be attributed to unknown weather or natural phenomena. The redaction of the other 2 possibilities leaves their nature unclear. clear. So there you go, guys. I thought this was hilarious. The last slide in this briefing was the following. Questions? Yeah, a lot. A lot. So thanks. Thanks for throwing it in our faces. It reminds me of David S. Pumpkins. You guys remember that Tom Hanks SNL skit? Any questions? Yeah, several. Yeah, so there we go, guys. Again, this just goes to show the tenacity of John Greenwald and what he does, and it also shows how damn long it takes to get any response from the FOIA on this stuff. I mean, he filed these in 2020. 2020, guys. It's almost 2025. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. All right, so let's move on to our next interesting story. And that has to do with this gentleman, Simon Holland. So, been a lot of chatter, a lot of talk lately about some big announcement, space-related, alien-related, whether it was some massive big object that was hurtling towards Earth, or the proof of techno-signatures by an alien civilization. And that's where we're at right now with Simon Holland, who goes by Professor Simon Holland on YouTube. Been a lot of debate on that in the past few days on Twitter as well, of him not being an actual professor, but goes by that on his YouTube channel. You can go to his YouTube channel and hear him argue that point. I'm not here to argue that point. I'm here to talk about his claims, and they are as bold as can humanly possibly be. So this article comes to us from Express UK, and the title of this article was, NASA partner says alien announcement to come in weeks, as he claims we have found it. Mission accomplished, guys. Game over. Live stream's done. Every UFO podcast is over. We're all going into retirement. We're going to have to find something else to talk about. Maybe ghosts. Oh, ghosts. Sorry, inside joke with my haunted crew. I'll let you guys in on it when the episodes start to air. Anyways, let's get back to Mr. Simon Holland. Simon Holland, who is claimed to have collaborated with NASA on projects such as tracking Earth-threatening asteroids, is convinced he's onto groundbreaking revelations that we are not alone. His information was given to him by members of Breakthrough Listen, which, oh, sorry, there's a bug in here that literally just landed on my nose. Oh, I love live streams. Breakthrough Listen, as you guys may or may not know, is a new venture being put on by Zuckerberg over at Facebook and a bunch of other scientists and whatnot. Ryan froze when he said when the announcement would come. He's been hacked. Oh, I'm freezing. Sorry, guys. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is just not cutting it over here. Within weeks, Jim, that's when this announcement is supposed to be coming. So buckle up, buddy. Talk about a November surprise. That was a terrible joke. So Simon suggests researchers associated with the Oxford-based endeavor may already hold compelling proof of alien signals intercepted by the Parkes telescope in Australia. They found, this is Simon, quote, they found the evidence of a non-human technological signature a few years ago using the Parkes telescope in Australia. This is breaking news as of yesterday, but the Chinese might beat them to make the announcement with their FAST, which is a 500-meter aperture spherical telescope program. It's the largest telescope in the world since Arecibo. You guys remember Arecibo, Puerto Rico, when that thing collapsed? Oh, that was heartbreaking. Anyways, the coordinates of the target object, known as BLC-1, are allegedly known to the Chinese, and both teams are vying to be the first to make the highly prestigious announcement. 5 potential technosignatures candidates were identified from a re-examination of SETI's SETI at Home screensaver program, which used the combined resources of the world's PCs to sift through the vast amounts of data generated by radio telescopes. BLC-1 is considered the most promising by far. Simon stated that, quote, "It's a single point source and it's not just noise. The signal, instead of being the giant buzz of everything in the universe that we hear from all radio telescopes, was a narrow electromagnetic spectrum. The scientists, understandably, are proceeding with extreme caution before making such a monumental announcement. However, Simon anticipates that it could be made by either the Breakthrough Listen team in Oxford, losing my breath, in Oxford, or the Chinese team within the next few weeks." Wow. What do you guys think? What do you think of these claims being made by one Professor Simon? I'm going to go up in the chat. Three-body problem, anyone? Pat says. Yeah, for sure, man. Gareth says, "This is why we're going for catastrophic disclosure." Oh, God. I don't know if that's a fruit fly or something in here. The Chinese could throw the whole toolbox into the works, let alone a spanner. Yeah. Nothing burger with cheese, J. Allen Heineken says. There's been talk about this since before JWST even. Nemesis, interesting. Yeah. I do wonder, like, if there was an embargo on any truth of us having found alien signatures, radio, techno, whatever, biosignatures. If when James Webb finally went out there, they're like, "Oh, here we go. They're going to find it all out. They're going to figure it all out." Now the JWST jig is up. Okay, so this is where this story goes a little south, guys. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just the messenger. I am no scientist. I'm clearly not as educated as people like Simon nor the Breakthrough Listen people. However, Andrew Simeon, who is the director of Breakthrough Listen, has commented on this claim. And he says the story is nonsense and is not true. I also spoke to my contact at the European Space Agency, who is pretty high up, and whatever. If you want to know his name, DM me. I'll send it to you guys. I will not say it on air because I do not have permission to do that, but I will not have my quote-unquote source and not tell people who that is. If you're interested, DM me, send me an email, and I will be happy to give you my source's name on that. But he as well also said this story is complete bunk. So, womp, womp, womp. Sad. Super sad. I was looking forward to it. Would have been a good way to end the year. Would have been a good Halloween surprise, I guess. But it is what it is. And who knows? Like, I have no doubt that Simon is talking to people at Breakthrough Listen and other people as well. And he has contacts in NASA. So look, maybe some of this could be true. But I don't think we're going to get an answer to, are we alone in the universe in the next couple weeks? I just don't see that happening. So we'll see. We'll see. Hello to Martin Wilson. Joseph is here as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Okay. We're going to get to our main story of the night, guys. This is going to be a quick one tonight, just because it's Thanksgiving here in Canada, actually. So I'm going to be going to celebrate that with Paul Kimball very soon. But I'm going to skip to one more story. We're going to take a very, very quick break, and then we're going to get to the one and only Immaculate Constellation. Oh, I'm sorry. Immaculate Constellation. I can't even pretend that was an accident. I am not that good of an actor. Let's talk about a brand new documentary. Sound good? We're going to talk about a brand new documentary that is going to be dropping on November 8th on Netflix, and that's from the one, the only George Knapp. So I'm going to go ahead and play that trailer for you guys here. We'll talk a little bit about that, take a quick break, and then we will get straight into the big story of the week, and that's Immaculate Constellation. All right, give this a watch, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, there it is, guys. Investigation Alien coming to us November 8th from George Knapp. What did you guys think? Saw some familiar faces in there. Beatrice was in there. Michael Masters, Chris Mellon, I think I saw at one point. Or was I imagining that? I'm not sure. I was swatting whatever flies or whatever in this room. What is going on? But yeah. A lot of UFO videos, which was interesting. Although I did see that the one and only Mick West, who debunked my UFO just a few weeks ago as a seagull. Sometimes it's just a seagull, guys. I will never live that one down. That was very embarrassing. Yeah, laugh it up, Suzanne. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it seems that Mick West has already come out with a video debunking every single UFO video in that trailer alone. So make of that what you will. Obviously, Mick West is not the be-all, end-all when it comes to video analysis, but let's be honest, within the field of ufology, he often does a pretty good job. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Think of him what you will. I do think people like him are necessary to keep a lot of people grounded in this field. Fruit flies are miniature surveillance drones. No, I'm being surveilled for saying Immaculate Constipation. Well, what else was in the trailer that really stood out? There was talk that we're going to find out some shocking stuff very soon. Welcome to ufology. Welcome to every single week of ufology. I'm interested to see the entire sort of career of George Knapp. So that's cool. I saw some crop circle action in there. Hopefully he'll kind of dig into his work over in Russia when he was able to smuggle a bunch of stuff out over there of their UFO materials. So we'll see from that. But what did you guys think? I want to know in the chat. Let me go up here. George rips. Let's see. Johan says, I just don't see proof of NHI yet. Don't think Knapp has it. Nisa says, looks like a fun time. Hello to Dalen. Welcome. Jeffrey says, love George Knapp. Looks really interesting. I think they may feature some USOs. Look, if I'm going to get some new videos to look at in this documentary, cool. Gareth says, the more I see it, the images of Graves, Crush, and Fravor taking the oath is the best evidence for UFOs. Interesting. I would say, Gareth, I don't know if it's evidence, but it's extremely credible testimony. In terms of evidence, there was very little evidence brought forward in the congressional UFO hearing. But the fact that they swore under oath to these testimonies is telling. It does say a lot. So I do agree with you on that point. I personally don't think it hurts the UFO topic. Does it help it or push it further? That's yet to be seen, especially with David Grush, who, again, had made some incredible claims, but most of it hasn't been backed up by verifiable evidence or documentation yet. It's still just what he heard from individuals. I'm not, this isn't me completely poo-pooing Grush or anything like that. The evidence is yet to be seen. So make of that what you will. Again, this will all tie into our next story. So yeah. Pat loves George Knapp, doing great work, the Lord's work, as it were. Let me see here. I should interview George, Donnie says. Yeah, absolutely, man. Always happy to have George on. I had him on. I had him and Colm Kelleher on back when their Skinwalkers at the Pentagon book came out. That was a fascinating interview. I had a great time. Had a great time with them. So I'd be happy to. Gareth says it's such a powerful image because of the way that they pose. That's fair. I understand that. Martin Wilson, have you seen the new jellyfish pictures, Ryan? What do you think? Suzanne and I were just talking about that before we went on air. I have not had a chance to look at them yet. I've been running around all day. I had 2 meetings for my documentary and also for Haunted, our television show here, and just been crazy. It was a feat to even get this live stream going tonight. So I want to thank all of you. What does that say? Oh no, private. Oh, okay. Okay. Top secret. You guys can't know. You can't know. Oh, I see. Got it. Don't mind us, guys. We're just having a completely top secret, majestic conversation without you. Anyways, let me see. Naps. Michael Huntington says, God, everything is going so slow on StreamYard tonight. StreamYard, guys, we might be moving platforms because StreamYard has not been behaving lately, and they doubled their price. So we will see what happens. Knapp's doc in the 90s were the best. This is all contemporary political UAP drama manufactured by those involved. Ooh. Sorry, guys. Just looking through here. This is interesting, Gnostic. I'm going to start that because I did hear about that. I will talk about it later. Cool. All right, guys. So, sorry, I'm just reading the chat. I'm going to take a very quick break, and then we are going to talk about Immaculate Constellation and all the latest thoughts and opinions by several different people. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to talk all about this new UAP program alleged to exist. So stick with me. We will be right back here on Somewhere in the live stream, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey everyone, Ryan Sprague here, host of Somewhere in the Skies. If you've ever thought about supporting us, we have great 2 easy options for you right now. If you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, you can click the subscribe button at the top of your Apple feed. Or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/somewhereskies. Both of these options give you the same benefits. Early access to the main show, bonus episodes and content, and priority to ask our guests your listener questions. So, to help support Somewhere in the Skies, click that subscribe button on Apple or visit patreon.com/somewhereskies. Thank you so much for your support, and keep looking up. All right, welcome back, guys, to Somewhere in the live stream. And if you're just joining us, we talked all about the Black Vault, about documents that he was able to obtain over there, John Greenwald, about the UAPTF and NASA and their sharing of information about UAP. Fascinating stuff. Just go to theblackvault.com and you can learn more all about that story. We also talked about these latest extremely sensational claims being made by Simon Holland about us discovering alien techno-signatures and that we will know in the next few weeks. However, that story has basically been 100% debunked, so sorry about that. But let's get to the big story that everyone's talking about, and that is secret Pentagon UFO program named by whistleblower. Here we go. You guys ready for another few months of bickering back and forth on UFO Twitter? Actually, I'll bring it up later, but maybe we won't. Maybe we will have some clarification on all of this sooner than we think. But basically, this story comes to us from journalist Michael Schellenberger at Public. And Michael says that he reports, I should say, that according to an anonymous whistleblower, there is a Pentagon program that collects and quarantines information on UFO sightings, encounters, and crash retrievals. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video that comes to us from Ross Coulthart over at News Nation. So Ross was the first to interview Schellenberger all about this. So let's go ahead and watch this video, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Sound good? Give this a watch.
Alleges the existence of a secret Pentagon UAP and UFO program, and it's called Immaculate Constellation. The report, turned over to Congress, claims the government has high-resolution pictures of UAPs. In the latest episode of News Nation's Reality Check, Ross Coulthart sat down with Michael Schellenberger, the independent journalist who spoke to that whistleblower.
It's a fascinating, there's much more in it than I could summarize in the article, but there's just a fascinating description of different UAPs that we've all heard about, orbs and tic-tac and discs and triangles and boomerangs and all the different, you think about the Phoenix lights. And so you sort of, if you have some familiarity with the big UAP cases, it's very striking to see that there is a database of UAPs captured apparently by the Defense Department and the intelligence community in a database that Congress, at a minimum, the Gang of Eight should have access to.
That would be something. That's on the latest episode of News Nation's Reality Check. All you got to do is just scan this QR code on your screen to watch that episode right now. Not right now, after I talk to Ross here. Joining me now, I have News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart. Ross, good morning to you. Give us more. What more do we know about the whistleblower and this Immaculate Constellation program?
Well, good morning, Marky. And firstly, it's multiple whistleblowers that are backing this account. I'm aware of allegations that this particular whistleblower has gone to Congress and given this evidence in a report. It's a very lengthy report that details and is supported by other people with knowledge of this program, alleging basically that the RO, the Pentagon's UAP investigation office, and the Pentagon have illegally withheld from Congress knowledge of a secret UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program, and more importantly, that they are aware of a large body of information, UAPs, particularly human intelligence, photographs, videos, and they're a very high resolution, much higher than And I think the key incident that's the most extraordinary is there are allegations made in the report that one of the top line fighters in the US, the F-22 Raptor, was actually boxed in by as many as 3 to 6 orbs and forced out of an airspace area.
The other thing, Ross, that caught my eye because I was reading Schellenberger's piece was also that a former intelligence official, maybe it's also another one of the whistleblowers, I'm not sure, confirmed the existence of this program, but adding that it's run out of the Secretary of Defense office, and also warning that whoever even talks about it is put on government radar and is put in the danger zone. That's ominous, Ross.
It is. It's very ominous. And look, I should note the Defense Department has issued a statement formally denying categorically that there is any special access program, unacknowledged, waived, or special access program that has the terms Immaculate Constellation. But frankly, there are multiple sources backing Schellenberger's story, and he's sticking to a story and saying he knows he's right. So really, it's a matter for the Pentagon now, because they're going to be questioned. There's going to be hearings in the Congress. People are going to be deposed and asked questions. And if they have lied, there's going to be a reckoning.
Constellation, Immaculate Constellation, Immaculate Constellation, Immaculate Constellation. What about? Oh, Immaculate Constellation. Okay, Immaculate Constellation. Guys, I'm sorry. I know my connection is terrible, so I'm sorry if it's jumpy and everything. Hopefully, I'll be in a much better area next week for the live stream. with a better connection. So I know it's jumpy. I'm sorry, jittery and jumpy. But also Immaculate Constellation. So what do we do? What do we do here, guys? Where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't know. Let's read a little bit more information about Immaculate Constellation. The program allegedly includes information from different types of intelligence, including high-quality images and signature intelligence. Schellenberger did not reveal the whistleblower's precise role or whether they were employed as a Defense Department employee or as a contractor. He did tell News Nation that he met with the whistleblower and verified their credentials, and also independently confirmed the existence of the program with unrelated sources. According to Schellenberger, the whistleblower discovered the program by accident after stumbling upon a database containing UFO information. That's interesting. Reminds me of Gary McKinnon, who hacked into all the NASA stuff and accidentally found UFO material. Interesting. In one incident, Ross did mention that one where orbs boxed in a fighter jet, which is crazy. In another incident, the crew on an aircraft carrier reported seeing an orange-red sphere descend from a high altitude and described feeling uneasy and as if he had snapped out of a trance following the encounter. Got some physiological effects going on there. Report, Arrow denied any evidence that UAPs are alien. The report did acknowledge the existence of the Kona Blue program, which was intended to reverse engineer any recovered UAP technology. Interesting. So there is some precedence for programs like this, obviously, but this one is apparently something different. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this story. It's now out there, which sometimes is the only way to get any more information about this stuff. Now we see if Immaculate Constellation still exists under that name. I seriously doubt it. Apparently, the program is ongoing. This isn't a program from the past. It is still happening. So that's interesting. I'm going to play a clip, and I can't believe I'm doing this, from Joe Rogan, because he did have Schellenberger on to talk about this. And I actually agree with a lot of Joe Rogan says in this clip. So I'm going to go ahead and play that, and we'll talk a little bit more about this story with another opinion by another individual shortly. So go ahead and give this a watch. We'll talk about it on the other side. Apologies for the connection, guys.
In that report, they claim that that the Pentagon is illegally withholding information from Congress about a secret UAP program. And that secret UAP program is considered a parent program of other programs, but it's called Immaculate Constellation. I was told I had it confirmed by a second source that this is the name. I also was told that if we revealed the name, that we would probably get under surveillance.
If I wanted to spread misinformation or disinformation, if I was an intelligence agent, I think I would get someone to be a whistleblower. I would sanction whistleblowers. I would tell them, go on podcasts, go on radio shows, go on television, and discuss all these different disclosures. And you can't tell them everything. Your top secret stuff, some stuff you got to keep secret. Boy, I wish I could tell you, but there's more I can't tell you. There's a lot going on. And that's a really good way, I would think, if I was in control of a narrative that I wanted to be continuously slippery. Like, this is a very slippery conversation. Like, you never get to the end of it.
And what would be the motivation?
Because there's some sort of a program that exists that they want to hide, and the best way to hide it is to continually bring up and then debunk these fake programs.
I'm comfortable saying I'm like 95% that the government is hiding information.
Okay. So,
and the reason I'm so confident of that is because Donald Trump said so multiple times, that they're hiding information. And I cite him in the article.
They probably told him that. And also, they lied to him about a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
and
sure.
Didn't even tell him about Chinese drones because they were worried he was going to shoot him down.
So they told him something that he says has not been made public to the
Right.
American people. So if that's so, my view is, look, if you think it's either a secret weapons program, that it's a government disinformation program, that it's just missightings, then I want the government. They have an obligation to tell us.
Interesting. I just can't believe he quoted Donald Trump as being the bearer of all accuracy and credibility when it comes to this. But whatever. I agree with Joe that if you wanted to sow more misinformation, more disinformation, a good way to do it is to plant the seeds of a program out there, give it this name, and let the public run with it. So I get that. And it could all be under the guise of national security. And it actually reminds me of something called MJ12, which that's where we're going to head next, guys. I want to touch on a blog article that came out recently by Kevin Randle. And he has some experience with things like this, where a program is said to not exist, and then we come to find out that it does exist. So a pretty even-keeled sort of thing. And let me go ahead and get this slide up here. Where am I? There I am. God, this connection is god-awful. I'm so sorry, guys. We're almost done. If you can believe it. So basically, Kevin Randle breaks this down to give us more context of Immaculate Constellation and where we should be right now on all of this in its early stages. Let me go ahead. I'm going to read right from this blog post. So Kevin says in the blog post, DoD spokeswoman Susan Goff, who has been called on many times on UFO and UAP questions, are asked, denied on Wednesday any knowledge of a special access program known as Immaculate Constellation. I'm not sure that this is relevant because if it was a special access program, which would also suggest a need to know, and she might not have been in the loop. Would a spokeswoman or spokesman, for that matter, be read into every single classified program? If they are not, then they have plausible deniability, meaning that she can say such things as having no knowledge of a program and be telling the truth. Doesn't mean the program doesn't exist, only that she doesn't know about it. Kevin goes on to say, I'm reminded that when the moon dust project was inadvertently revealed in 1986, the Air Force denied that such a program existed. When shown official documents with the name Moondust on them, a higher-ranking Air Force officer said Moondust did exist but had not been used. Other documents refuted that claim as well. The point is that the first officer, Lieutenant Colonel John E. Madison of the Congressional Inquiry Division Office, wrote, quote, there is no agency, nor has there ever been, at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, which would deal with UFOs or have any information about the incident in Roswell. In addition, there is no Project Moondust or Operation Blue Fly. Those missions never existed, end quote. And Randle goes on to say, most of what Madison wrote was the truth. There may well not have been any agency at Fort Belvoir that dealt with UFOs in Roswell, which of course doesn't mean that such agencies might not exist or other installations. And he is accurate in saying there is no Project Moondust because Moondust was the code words dealing with UFO material. So Madison wasn't lying. He just didn't have access to all the info he needed to properly answer the question put to him. So basically, Kevin Randle says, the point is that even people at the highest levels aren't read into all programs, and a denial by Goff that she had no knowledge of such a program as Immaculate Constellation doesn't mean there is no such program. The real problem here is that Schellenberger has not identified his source. Years ago, decades really, we were presented with documents suggesting a cover-up of the Roswell UFO crash. Papers home of a UFO researcher. Well, photographic film arrived and when developed revealed the existence of a special group known as MJ-12 to exploit and direct the recovery of the Roswell UFO. The trouble with these documents was that we didn't know who had sent them. We didn't know where they originated. Finally, we didn't have the originals, which could have been tested. The point is that originally the MJ-12 documents caused a stir not only in the UFO community, but among the news media and those interested in UFOs. Investigation revealed the flaws, and the major flaws was we didn't know the original source. Without that, we were left with an interesting aside into the possibility of a cover-up. Eventually, nearly everyone agreed that the documents were a hoax, and that was underscored by the lack of the original source. That's where we are with Immaculate Constellation. We have no source, and we don't even have copies of documents suggesting there is something to the claims. At least MJ-12 had documents, which led to the revelation that it was a hoax. We can look to whistleblower David Grush. He talked of high-level important people who told him about UFO crashes, but he supplied 0 names. I can deduce some of those names, and while they had once held important posts in the government or were respected scientists, they didn't say anything about Grush's sources other than we have the names. Didn't prove that they had told Grush or that Grush overheard was accurate information, only that they might have said it. I point all this out because we now have more information about an important government program hidden from the public, which supposedly hides information about UFOs, but we have no way of vetting the information. We have no way of finding corroboration. We just must believe the stories told by this unidentified source. And I ask, why? Here's something else that hasn't been considered, and that is that this collection of UFO images might not have a thing to do with alien visitation, but is instead images of terrestrial craft that have been flying around the various locations in the US. It might be the very images that are held in secret because of the revelation of them might provide information of intelligence value to our competitors. In other words, national security might have raised its ugly head. And lastly, right now, I can't, and this is Kevin Randle, I can't verify that Immaculate Constellation exists. But then I can't reject the tale, either because the evidence to do that doesn't yet exist. I only caution against drawing any concrete conclusions now because we simply don't have enough information to just either way justify any type of conclusion to it. Whew, that was a marathon, but all very telling. It's too early. It's simply too early. We need more information about it. We can't just depend on Schellenberger's reporting. We need other reporters to start reporting on this. Whether it's mainstream media like the New York Times, CNN, Politico, Newsweek, we need them to now look at Schellenberger's story and see what they can come up with. That's kind of where we're at. So this is a great blog post by Kevin. Thank you to Suzanne for putting the link to it. Go check it out, guys. I'm going to go ahead and look at what you guys think, because I did put a poll up on Twitter and right here on YouTube. Let's go to the Twitter one first. Wait for this to pull up here. So I asked you guys over on the Somewhere in the Skies Twitter account, do you believe the Immaculate Constellation is a genuine UAP program? And let's see here. I think it was out of what? Of the time of me screen capturing this, 136 votes. 41% of you said yes, 11% said no, 41% said need more info, and 5.9% said don't care. Wow. You guys are evenly split between yes and need more info. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. Let's go to the one right here on YouTube. 39. Oh, it's changing. Hold on. 37% of you said yes. 10% said no. 49% said need more info. 3% of you said I don't care. So it's pretty much the same. A bit more of you said need more info than yes. But that's kind of where everyone's at. I'm surprised, actually, that many of you are just willing to accept this off the bat. But that's just me. That's just me. Let me go up into the chat and see what you guys are saying, and we'll close things out. I know this has been a choppy one. Let me see. Immaculate Constellation. Gareth says, let's face it, there are so many project groups and programs within the U.S. It happens to not be able to connect any dots. Project Allergy Prone Muskrat. Yep, I'm not a match. I love it, Damon. Hello to random content. Robert says, they are all full of BS. They have the documents and information. Hello to Christine. Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, you know, what else can we really say, guys? I mean, it's too early to tell with Immaculate Constellation. I'm just going to start saying it like that. We just need more info. And could that come actually with this upcoming congressional UFO hearing? Maybe we will hear from one of these whistleblowers. Maybe we will find out more about these programs from those who actually worked in them. And maybe we'll even hear from this particular whistleblower if they already have not been jailed or something. I don't know. But we'll see. And that's only in, less than like 4 weeks, maybe. About a month, actually, before we get that congressional UFO hearing. I'm going to wait till then, honestly. If any more information comes out before then, awesome. But I'm going to wait till then and see what happens. Hello to Joe Turry. Be sure to check out my interview with Joe Turry and Michael Huntington from last week. It was a lot of fun. Grand Tower, UFOs, and other high strangeness. We had a ball. So yeah, let's, just like always, let's wait and see. And you do not have to wait and see what comes next for Somewhere in the Skies, guys. Somewhere in the Skies, guys? There's a band name. Let me pull up our trusty slideshow here, if it decides to work. We recently released, we recently released an episode of Just Another Tinfoil Hat with Zelia Edgar, all about the Pascagoula abduction. So you can go ahead and listen to that now, right on the main feed. It's there for the taking. We also just came out with a bonus episode over on Patreon about the Hambleton Girl Guides UFO encounter. What happens when a British Girl Scout troop and their troop leaders all encounter a UFO? Tune in to find out right now over on Patreon. You can join there at patreon.com/somewhereskies. That brand new bonus episode awaits you with other benefits and rewards as well. So you can help support the show and get many bonus episodes and content in return. And also, as Suzanne has mentioned, it makes a difference, guys, to download the podcast wherever you get it. So every episode, make sure you're subscribed. Mostly, please, on Apple, which is the largest podcast outlet. And that's where we can get featured. That's where we get most of our new listeners and where we gain the most visibility. So please, even if you don't listen to the show on Apple, go over to Apple if you can. quickly make an account, rate and review us there. It helps us tremendously. I can't even tell you how much it helps. So please do that. You can also rate and review us on Spotify as well, or wherever possible is appreciated, beyond appreciated. So please take a few moments to do that. I would certainly appreciate it. We have a brand new episode of Bite-Sized UFOs that just came out as well with Graham Randle, and he talks all about a second Mantell case where a pilot tragically lost his life while pursuing a UFO. So you can hear that episode right now on the main feed as well. And lastly, we have an episode dropping in just a couple hours, and this is part 1 of a 2-part series that I've titled 1947 Beyond Flying Saucers and Roswell. So you can check that out in just a couple hours on the main feed too. And yeah, like I said, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, all of that stuff. And other than that, I'm just going to go up to the chat one more time here, guys, before we close out this extremely choppy episode. Gnostic asked a interesting question here. People near Wright-Patterson did Google searches on Immaculate Constellation when Grush made his report last year, way before his name was leaked. This name was released. Idiots couldn't even use a VPN. Yeah, I did hear the same thing, that when Grush started coming forward with this crash retrieval program, that a lot of people around Wright-Patterson, specifically from government-issued computers and military computers, were Googling the term Immaculate Constellation. So what's going on there? What's going on there? That is interesting, to say the least. Here, before we close things out, Joseph says, what has happened to Need to Know podcast? Has Coulthard outgrown Zabel? Well, I can say, Joseph, that I did spend 4 days recently with Bryce Zabel in person here in Nova Scotia, of all places. And we talked all about it. We talked about a lot of stuff. Wink, wink. Stay tuned for my documentary in the future. But no, they're just, they're doing their own things. Bryce is always... Why am I so dark? Man, it's getting dark in here. Bryce is always working on scripts, screenplays, television pitches, stuff like that. So he's busy doing that. Ross is working full-time for News Nation now. So, they're still doing the show when they can. I think they came out with an episode not too long ago. So they're still doing it. They're still going. But yeah, they're kind of on their own schedules, whereas like we're weekly, they kind of just drop episodes when they want. I envy that. That's for sure. No, I love doing the weekly show with you guys. Cool. So let me go to the live chat one more time. Just getting ready to read Paranormal Ranger. Someone said, who was that? Jeffrey. Just got the book. Enjoyed the recent video you did. Thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, you can go listen to my interview or watch my interview with Stanley Milford. Wow. My brain is mush, guys. I need food. I need some turkey and stuffing. Stanley Milford Jr., Paranormal Ranger. Go back and listen to that episode as well. Thank you to the biologist, as always. Biologist, I have been wearing your sunglasses like crazy here, man. It's been super sunny, so thank you again for that wonderful, wonderful gift. And thank you to all of you guys. If you'd like to help out the show, you can leave a super chat on the way out. Or like I said, we have links in the show notes to our Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, all that good stuff. Every penny goes back into making the show bigger and better. So thank you. All right, that is going to do it, guys. Again, our connection will be better next week, I promise you. But thank you. Thank you, as always, to Suzanne for her incredible work with you guys in the chat. Invaluable, for sure. And that's going to do it. I'm going to leave you with our mantra, as always, here. And that is to keep your feet on the ground, but never stop searching somewhere in the skies. I'll see you next week. Hit that subscribe button and keep looking up. Take care, guys. Immaculate Constellation!
There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all.